So as I said, I was on the bus, and as I came over on the bus, I noticed a place called No Swimming, Dangerous Manchester, yeah. Seriously, there are old mines underneath these and old mills and all sorts of things. It's not for playing in. I noticed a place called Moat Hill. Now a moat goes around the castle. So there's a castle, fortified castle. Remember I said it's a Norman settlement. The signs you can tell this was part of an industrial site is you can see, it's hard to explain, there's an orange tint to things, which means mining or iron or things like that. I can see it. It grows up through everything. See what I mean? That's facing the sun, but that's not, there's nothing in nature that's orange like that. It's coming up from underneath in the roots. So there's either iron underneath, and there's part of a goit or canal which is disused. See? I'm in the middle of nowhere, I don't know where I am, see? And over there I've just spotted a river, and that'll be what's feeding these lodges. And I bet you this links up to the River Irk, which is all very good. I'm going to overwhelm myself with information. So there's a castle in this area. This was once an industrial site, because I'm seeing iron ore growing up through the plants, which sounds crazy or unusual. I don't like using that word. Normality is only based on the fact that everybody thinks normality is the same. Once you see normality is different than everybody else, you're seen as crazy. So that's where the term comes from. You can be crazy like a fox, or you can actually be mentally ill. So there you go. Crazy like a fox means excited. Kids are actually, when you say kids are being naughty or silly, they're actually being crazy. It's just a term, it's a bit un-PC to use these terms, isn't it? But when you know the actual meaning. I always wanted to investigate around here, and it's far more interesting than I ever imagined. There's so much. That's a channel, that's a canal. Oh, stones. Runs off there, turns into a river, but that's a canal. Very interesting. I wonder if you're anywhere near the Bury Rochdale Canal. I'm on it. I don't know as yet, and I don't want anyone to be screaming at the screen, yeah you are, yeah you are. God, you don't even know where you are, that's the most famous mill in the world. You know what I mean? But I'm learning as I go, and I want that to make it more interesting to people instead of coming on going, I know this and I know that. Ultimately, we're linking up to the train lines. That one's a bit yak. And do you remember, I've been studying up like crazy on all sorts. And you should see the electric dynamos on the old trains. They ran right up till the 60s, but the Bury line did not. Holkenbrook to Bury was sort of fell into disuse because it was parallel with a tram line. So the tram line, I know Tossington, is more convenient because it's closer to the houses, it's on the main road as we know it today. You have to walk a bit of a distance to get on the train, and the train needs to refill. I know the electric one wouldn't need to refill, but I'm just saying it's just gone, they favoured the tram line, they're going in the same direction, so it's gone into disuse. And it was used as an industrial railway then. So these are industrial woods, and there's history of Normans. Remember this camera, it loses light, and I'm saving my extra special camera because we're still going to get the River Irk. We're on a tight time scale as always, but I like that because it makes me move on instead of filming something too long. Yeah, the train dynamos, you should see them attached to the train. It looks so futuristic. I didn't notice one was a diesel. I thought it was a diesel. So there's lots of train enthusiasts in Bury, so it's just overwhelming the amount of information you can get. I didn't really even know. It's a bit like the canals. You study the train lines, you spot things along the way. So the train lines take over from the canals, the more modern version of a canal. So trains and canals would have coexisted for a while, but then trains were faster, more popular, so canals went into disuse. But when roads came in, trains did not go into disuse because they are actually very useful. They are such a good invention. A straight line, very fast. You know, some are as fast as getting an aeroplane in Europe, and that is true. Spain to Germany, things like that. You can fly there, literally at great speed. I mean, So yeah, in some places they're replacing the aeroplane. That's how fast trains can be. Which is good if you can get electric trains. You include some solar power in there. It's a lot better for the environment. You don't have to fly. You know, I've said we've wasted a lot of money on things we could have spent on good technology. Like we could have had a worldwide system of underground tunnels right across the bottom of the oceans and everything. You won't be affected by water pressure if you dug right in the bedrock. Anyway, we're going into too much science and engineering now. They're sort of things that will be built in the future. We're just not quite up to that standard yet, but our engineering skills are very, very, very good now. That's why they can rebuild Manchester without damaging the old parts. They're taking all the old sewers out one street at a time and replacing it all. But you wouldn't notice it were going on. Oh, I love this place. I love this little river. I've always wanted to look around here. Right, did I start any conversations that I never finished? Because I do that, I know I do. I don't think so. So yeah, we used to drive past here with my dad. He would pick us up from Bowker Vale station, train station. Oh yeah, the electric line went out of use, Holcombe to Bury. But the electric line, as I assumed, from Bury to Victoria, which is now the modern day Metrolink system, was electrified and was very successful and continued right up into the 60s till a diesel train replaced it. There was no, probably because it's safer, because you've got an exposed electric line, but I don't think it's taken out of commission for any disastrous reason. So, Manchester, UK. Brief histories of time. If you know that is the River Irk or whatever, well done, thank you for being patient with me and thinking, how does he not know that? It's because I've never investigated around there. I used to spend a lot of time here as a kid and I was desperate to have a look round. So we're off to Middleton, to the park, to see the Rochdale to Manchester Canal and the River Irk. Funnily enough, they both cross at that point. Oh, I found some really interesting new stuff tonight, Manchester. A brief video of time with Stephen Goddard, who actually showed himself quite a lot tonight. You must admit, doing better there. I'm coming out of the shyness closet, as it were. I didn't want to say it any other way because I don't want anybody thinking anything. I'm just going to end there, Manchester.